Thanks, Francis. Well, the former ANC Chief Whip, Mathole Motshekga, has echoed a call by the party in the Western Cape for a special NEC following the recent cabinet reshuffle that's led to the country being downgraded by two ratings agencies. The ANC in the Western Cape also wants the party's Integrity Commission to investigate the impact of the cabinet reshuffle on society. Parliament, meanwhile, has dismissed calls for next week's motion of no confidence in President. In fact, the Parliament has just issued a statement saying that the vote of no confidence has been postponed at the request of the Democratic Alliance. We'll have more on that a little bit later for you. But in the meantime, let's say good evening to Mr. Mathole Motshekga, who's former ANC Chief Whip. So you've called for an urgent NEC meeting. Why is that?
Because sections of the society, including our alliance partners, are raising concerns about what is going on in the country. And the ANC has been put in power by the majority of South Africans. And if there are challenges, South Africans look upon the ANC to provide answers. So at the moment, the ANC is the only competent body in between conferences that can listen to the people, consider their issues, and provide leadership.
But why now? Something must have happened, because the last local government elections, the people spoke to you quite loudly already at this stage. You've had NEC meetings since then. What's different now?
Because the responses then, which appeared to be acceptable, don't seem to have arrested the situation. Now we see the largest marches in our city centers that we have never seen before. And therefore the ANC cannot fold its arms. It has to come together, look at the situation and ask itself, have we done something wrong? And if so, where? And what interventions are required? Because the majority of the people still support the ANC and they want leadership from the ANC. So the ANC must provide that leadership.
The NWC met, as you said, that the NEC is the one that makes the decisions, but the discussions did happen there. What would they be able to contribute that's come out of that meeting? Because it seemed as if everybody's fallen into line and they're following the party line. And in fact, this vote that was coming up next week, everyone was going to fall into line there again. So what would be different at an NEC? I mean, essentially we're dealing with the same kind of people.
The party line can only come from the NEC. The NWC can make recommendations to NEC. And before the NEC pronounce on that matter, we can say that is the last word, that is the party line.
Will you discuss, if this NEC happens, whether the president should resign or not? He said, listen, if the party says to me, you must step down, he'll willingly do so. So clearly he's not the one that's causing the blockage. If there is one, in terms of whether he should resign or not, it's down to you as an NEC member. Will that be a point of discussion?
You see, I don't set the agenda, and I guess in the light of what is happening, the leadership, the top six, will set the agenda. If that matter is one of the agenda matters, I guess it will be discussed there.
What is the feeling inside the ANC? You know, outside we hear the party is split, and we hear calls for unity. The finance minister said that as recently as last night. What is the feeling going into an NEC like this? Is the NEC itself a sort of split in the same way that we're hearing that the party is?
I think we have seasoned politicians in the NEC. We have people who take this country seriously, and they would look at the matters on their merits and demerits and act rationally. So I wouldn't prejudge what the NEC would do, but I think we have men and women who are solid, who would understand that this is not an internal ANC matter, it's a societal matter. and I think they will take society seriously.
What do you make of the marches today? I know that a lot of party leaders today particularly were speaking to the president and saying, listen, don't pay attention to the marches, you concentrate on what you're doing, be strong. But it's not something that can be ignored, surely.
You see, I have not heard anybody saying the ANC is incompetent to govern, that the ANC must go. They are raising issues that need attention. So you cannot dismiss people who say, we have the following concerns, we want you to address the issues. So I think marches are permissible under the Constitution, and people have been marching. There's nothing wrong with that, and they are raising issues, but the most competent body to address those issues is the NEC of the ANC. The NWC is a substructure. It can make recommendation, but the final arbiter is the NEC itself.
So one of the challenges that you have, and you know, we're reading between the lines here, is that the ANC is saying, listen, we will not be told by anybody to get rid of our president. Are we not treading into a situation where, let's say it was a good idea for the president to step down, the ratings agencies, all these effects that have kind of come across, investors are busy watching these marches taking place, and they're saying, look, you know, we don't know about this country. We're seeing half the country, or a huge number of people protesting against the president. The challenge then that you have as the party is, if we ask him to step down, it's seen as if we're being told by the opposition, and so that you're going to actually, as Secretary General says, if you tell us to do something, we're actually only going to push back.
Now, individual members of the NEC, of the ANC, have individual opinions, and I have heard all these opinions. I'm saying that only the collective leadership of the NEC must sit, analyze for itself, and come to a determination one way or the other. And this is the time for it to do so.
Do you think you can solve this?
There is no problem. There's no crisis. The ANC has the capacity to solve issues, but it can't solve issues if it doesn't come meet. So that's why hence the call to say, let's have a meeting of the appropriate structures to deal with whatever issues have been raised.
So you've made the call, the Western Cape has. Who decides whether the NEC will meet or not?
We have the top officials. I guess they are monitoring the situation, and they are reasonable, rational people. They should be able to take the appropriate decision.
Okay, Mr. Motshekga, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us. And just to let you know that at 9:30 on this channel, you'll have a fuller discussion with the Mr. Motshekga a little bit later on with Mpho, with a special screening of his program, Question Time, and that's at 9:30 a little bit later on, so tune in for that. In the